Hi, guys. Happy day after 4th of July. I'm Leanne Holitza here, and we are going to be doing our Oracle readings for the week. We're using the Yantra deck, and today I'm going to do the Voyager Tarot deck. This one I'm going to use more like an Oracle rather than a Tarot, just so you know. But listening to the guides and the card itself rather than following the rules of the Tarot. If you haven't met me before, I'm Leanne Holitza. I'm an energy healer and teacher over at the Healing Studio in Broomfield, Colorado. And I am just for fun doing these card readings for you for the week. We will do a card reading for all of us, and then we will do a 1, 2, 3, which will be your first personal card. And then we will do individuals when you type in me please in the comments. So I will get through the list as I see it in order, so hang with me. And you might as well hang till the end anyway, because a lot of times we get 3 times the charm cards, which means that there are messages for all of us, and I kind of elaborate, sometimes read the little booklet that the author has written, that kind of thing. So all right, let's get started. Okay, so the first card that's starting up is Devotion Upside Down. Now, what this is kind of indicating is that there is an imbalance in like reverence and gratitude and, being able to understand that everybody's coming from a place of love. It starts off saying basically we're feeling like we don't know what to be devoted to or what to be loyal to. The Helper card is Wisdom Sideways. Okay. This is basically saying you don't know everything yet. Don't make assumptions, ask lots of questions. Use the ability to put things together in your own mind and then put it out to other people and ask if the way you're putting it together is accurate. By what you're saying, it sounds like you are ungrateful about whatever, or based on this card is why I'm coming up with that question. Just kind of knowing that maybe you're making assumptions based on what they're saying, but that maybe that's not what they're intending to say. End of the week, we got Creativity Sideways, and this basically says being the instrument. This is where it's really by the end of the week, we're being asked to get back to recognizing what we're contributing to the situation, what's ours to do, being creative about solutions to the situation at hand. Okay. All right. Let's build on that. So this part, you're going to just tune in. I'm going to give you a 1, 2, 3. If you're watching later, this is your opportunity to play along. If you're watching live, this is your first card. Okay. If you picked 1, you're going to work with the Magician, but it's upside down, okay? So basically what this is saying is that, you're starting off on this hero's journey. You're moving into a place where you can start to understand your own magic. And when in reverse, what I'm hearing about that is that it might be time to move beyond just being the apprentice of your own magic and start to being more skillful with what you're doing. So really that goes with that creative card that we got just a minute ago, which is like, if you are not managing your own thoughts and being in control of your own ideas and things, then you might be the one who is not using your magical skills very well. Okay, if you picked 2, you got the Child of Crystals, so the learner. Okay, and basically what this is saying is that there's a lot of opportunities here, and it was upside down. So it's a lot of opportunities to get back to beginner's mind. Like the other card said, asking lots of questions, stating your assumptions out loud, making sure that the people around you know that you're thinking this way so that they can then confirm or affirm, yes, that's what I mean, or no, it's not what I mean. If you picked 3, you're going to work with 4 of Wands. Okay, so it says aspiration. Basically, this week for you, it's going to be about weaving your story, giving yourself a chance to say, the foundation of what I'm building my life on is based on principles that I'm going to make sure are always available. So you can kind of see in this, there's a Statue of Liberty in it. It's kind of like, what do you stand for? This week, you're going to be asked to really kind of step into that a little bit more and really keep that on the front of the mind. Okay. All right. Let's go down the me please list. Hi, everybody who's watching live. If you haven't typed me please yet for a card, now would be a good time to do it. All right, Miranda, you're at the top of the list today. All right, Sage of Cups, okay, says Regenerator. It's in reverse. Okay, so what this is saying to me is that your emotional energy is something to kind of sit with right now and notice what you've repressed or suppressed, and just kind of notice how when your emotional energy is allowed to flow, it can actually create a cleanse or clear the air, that kind of thing. But when it's holding you back, it can't, it just builds up and it sticks in your body in certain ways. So notice the repressed emotions this week. Kimberly, you've got Two of Cups upside down. Okay, so equilibrium. So basically, what this is saying is that your primary relationship is needing a little bit of an adjustment. If you combine that with, the don't make assumptions thing with this week, it's going to be a lot about coming back to the person that you're primarily partnering with and saying, here's what I'm experiencing. How are you experiencing this? And having better communication flow, just so that your emotional energy can stay in a clear space. Christy R. and Lisa. Christy, you've got Fortune in the upside down. Okay, so what this card is, this is one of the major arcana cards in the tarot. And basically what it's saying is that, there's some stuff in your life that's going to be fated and destiny, and there's some stuff that's free will. This is basically saying this week is a week of free will, and knowing where you are contributing to your own fortune is based on how you're interacting with what you already have. Can't move on from what you do not love first, okay? Lisa, no, you got two. You got the learner right side up, okay? Child of crystals, so start with the beginner's mind. And then you also got sun, okay? So this is basically saying it's a good week for you to not know anything, to be playful, to be out there though and being seen as, the person that you are. Be silly, be able to ask questions. It's okay not to know. It's okay not to do it perfectly. It's, in fact, sometimes being the imperfect person is the thing that lets everyone else take a deep breath too. Okay. Diane, you got the Child of Crystals upside down. This guy's starting to linger, isn't he? Okay, so if you picked two at the beginning, it's doubling down. This guy says that get back to the beginner's mind, get yourself back to knowing that, yeah, you got all kinds of knowledge. You have a lifetime of knowledge. And get back to the curious, get back to asking lots of questions and not making any assumptions. Be playful too. Children, they love things, and especially novelty things, like bubbles and, Play-Doh and things like that. Just getting into that, loving life just for the simplicity of it. Jenny V, you're going to want to focus on the Six of Worlds. Okay. It says synergy. So everything working in your favor, working together, noticing how things are coming together, noticing how you're able to give yourself a little bit of time to see and notice, like, the little signs around you, the way that things just happen to come together in just kind of wild ways that are like only the universe could put it together that way, right? All right, Cynthia, you have got the Child of Worlds upside down. So it says player. Where are you taking things too seriously is basically what this is saying. This is like, where have you decided that you have to just be out responsible all the time, be doing all the chores all the time, getting yourself through. This week is a week to kind of acknowledge that seriousness, and that maybe that sometimes work ethic that isn't necessarily serving you if you don't rest. All right, Robin, Chris, and Austin. Robin, you've got Two of Wands, which says purity. Okay, so being really crystal clear with your thoughts, paying really close attention to what you're doing, and notice singular relationships with your thoughts. Meaning, like, don't be doing 10,000 things in your head. If you're going to drink your cup of water, think, I'm drinking my cup of water, and just do it. then get back to your YouTube channel. Okay? All right, Chris. You're going to work with the 10 of Cups, which says passion. Okay, the 10 of Cups is very much an energy of using your emotional energy, your creativity, your fire in that way, getting really creative this weekend, just acknowledging like where you're feeling driven to develop your life and put your energy in a sustainable way. Austin, you're going to want to work with the 2 of Crystals, which it says equanimity. Okay, so this is basically saying, same thing that Robin got. You're going to do one thing at a time with your mind, okay? One thing at a time with your ability to build things, and making sure that you only give what you have to give and only take what is yours to take. Okay? Denise, you got the 8 of Crystals, but it was upside down. So it says synthesis, okay? Now, what I'm hearing for you on this, Denise, is that there's a lot of stuff that must come together, and some pieces are not necessarily working. And if one screw is missing, the whole thing can fall apart. So it's like, go back and just kind of pay attention. And this is in particular about how your mindset's working, making sure that you have all of the information that you need. Seems like this is one of the themes, you guys, this week is all the information. Ask lots of questions. Don't make assumptions this week. Your mind isn't always right. Okay, Kelly and Matthew. Kelly, you got the learner child of crystals upside down. Doubling down 3 times the charm. This one's for all of us now, you guys. I'm going to pull out the book just to give you what the author is saying about the reverse. But this is one of those things where it's very important for you to pay attention to your beginner mind. Okay, that's really what I'm hearing from the guides mostly, is your beginner mind really matters. And it is important for you to kind of get back to that. All right, here we go. So it says, the crystal cave is a wondrous place for exploration and being curious. Each crystal is a new idea to be examined. Like a child, learn by exploring new ideas. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing, right? Like, get curious. Like I brought up with Diane, the Play-Doh and the bubbles. Examine your beliefs. Get yourself, out of the way about believing that you have to do it perfectly, because you don't. In fact, not doing it perfectly can be the best part. Best place to learn. Okay, Matthew, you are working with time and space. Okay, so right side up. This is a major card about just really paying attention to your pathway, making sure that you are giving your gifts all, doing the things you want to do, making sure that you're using your judgment to live the life you want to lead all the time, not just going on automatic pilot or doing what seems to be happening to you. All right. Max, yes, having a great weekend. Oh, you got time and space too. All right, have fun with your space, but also being aware, being reverence of your life and how it unfolds, and being really good with using your gifts and being outward with those gifts. Letting yourself, really show up with being discerning. Not everybody deserves your energy, but the ones who do and the ones who have earned it, it's good not to hold back. Okay. All right. King of GT, Carrie, you got fortune right side up. That's a positive omen for the week. That basically is saying, let things start to show you how they're going to unfold, how the universe wants to take care of you, how it might all go down swimmingly if you let it. All right. Lisa C., you're working with the Hanged Man. This card always to me is the you put yourself there kind of card. Like, it's a little bit like, you are tied up in knots this week, but how did you get yourself there? Why did you put yourself there? What can you learn about your own actions and shadow work? And then go from there. All right. Tiff, you are working with the universe. Basically, this is the world card in this deck. So this is like positive omen no matter what direction it comes. It's basically saying this week is a very open week for you. Lots of things can happen. They're very positive if you let it. Look for the good stuff. Validate the good stuff. Yes, thank you, more, please, all the good stuff this week, okay? Heidi M., You're going to work with the Ace of Wands upside down. It says success. But what I'm hearing right now is that you're just at the beginning. And at the beginning of success, you don't necessarily know how it's going to go, and nor should you. That's boring if we always knew how the whole thing would go. So just this week, know that you're kind of like aimed for success, but you're at the beginning. And sometimes the beginning is the hardest part. Okay. I'm getting a little bit that you might benefit from a sunflower flower essence, which is a lot about shining towards, where you're meant to be seen. Eli, you have got the universe upside down. Now, this card is positive omen no matter what, so, as I said, but basically it's saying that the world is moving in the right direction for you. There's lots of good things happening, but when it's upside down, maybe it's not so evident or it's not obvious yet what is going to be going positively. So just give yourself a minute to just sink into that, how good your life is and how good it can be, and just keep moving in that direction. Melissa and Shannon. Melissa, you got the 4 of crystals, but you got it upside down. It says on the top, logic. What I'm getting is that you want to get back to that beginner's mind that they've been talking about. Get back to, what even doesn't make sense. Maybe being a little too calculated or a little bit too trying to put things together in the way that makes your mind kind of get soupy, and just come back to beginner's mind. Shannon, you got Ace of Cups upside down. It says ecstasy at the top. So basically what I'm hearing from your guides about this card is it doesn't all have to be ecstasy. It doesn't all have to be joy and bounciness. It can be, some of the struggles, some of the crunchiness. It's okay. That's part of the ecstasy too. Like just feeling alive is all the ranges of feelings. Okay. Elizabeth, you've got Lovers upside down. Okay. So this is kind of saying you might be kind of separate from the relationship that you're in, primary relationship, maybe craving something. But this is a mirror of you. Like this is really you looking for you. So come back to yourself and give yourself a chance to, love yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror. If you're having trouble with your primary relationship, what is that reflecting about you? All right. Sunshine, Flutterbutt, and Travis. Sunshine, you got success right side up. Okay, so just get started. Start as if you already know it's going to be a success. This week is a good week just to kick it off. Get it going. Do the thing. And, know that will move you towards the path of success. You can't get there unless you take the steps to get there. Travis, you got Feeler, Child of Cups. So really, literally, just see how like we're getting the message of just being like in the playful self this week for you. Just have fun. Be in awe of stuff. Make goo and play with it. I don't know. Like do something silly. It doesn't have to be anything serious this week for you. Okay, Mountain River. You got 5 of Cups, disappointment this week. Okay. So this is like, let yourself feel disappointed. Don't talk yourself out of it. If you're feeling bummed out about things, and it's appropriate to feel bummed out about those things, it's important for you to just kind of, give yourself a chance to say, I am, doing my best. And sometimes I have big feelings. Okay, Janelle, I'm seeing that you're saying your phone keeps cutting out. If anybody wants to comment on that, let me know. I did try to close everything down so I didn't have buffer bloat. Because that's another thing I've been getting besides the internet connection. Okay. If anybody else is cutting out, let me know, but I'm going to keep going here. All right. Eat 100 foods. You've got the Star. This is basically saying, go be you. Go shine like a star. Go shine brightly. And notice that sometimes the star can only be seen when it's dark. And to embrace the dark periods, embrace the shadows, embrace all of the stuff that is about you becoming more seen, heard, loved, all that. Kalina, for you got the Hanged Man upside down. So like I said, I kind of feel like the Hanged Man is a call out card to like, what have you been doing? Why have you been taking yourself there? Maybe you would like to take yourself somewhere different in the future, and give yourself a chance to just really, look at your belief systems, look at how your actions, look at your thoughts. All of that plays into what you're creating. All right, Kaylee, Emma, Zen Garden. Okay, Zen Garden first. Oh, you're bringing us the childhood crystals right side up again. So third time's a charm for it up, right side up. So it's really calling to us this week, you guys. Get into the beginner's mind. Okay, get yourself really settling into how can I play in the universe? How can I be exploring? How can I remember who I am while I do it? How can it be get back to my playful magic? Kaylee's going to want to work with equanimity and the two of crystals, balancing the mind, making sure that things are fair, only giving what you have to give, don't give any more, that kind of thing. Emma, you're working with the Four of Wands. If you picked 3 at the beginning, it's doubling down on your aspirations. What do you really want to do with yourself? What is your foundation of your life? How can you get back to maybe pick 1 or 2 words? It's literally just representing your focus of your foundation. What do you want your life to represent? Peace, freedom, play. What is it? All right. Seriously wonderful. Courtney, you're going to work with fortune. The second time we've seen this one. Just give yourself a chance to really see how a play in the world and how lucky you are and how much you can just be in it and enjoy it and not have to judge it or feel like you are have to earn it. This week you just get to be in it. Tanya, you have got the 8 of crystals upside down synthesis. Second time we've seen that one. This is where I heard the message of making sure that all the screws are tightened, making sure that everything is put together the way you intend it before you drive it away, because you don't want to fall apart on the road. So really taking your time to really make sure that all the things, all the parts and pieces are in place before taking the next steps. Okay. Janelle and Donnie. Janelle, you have the 5 of Cups upside down, which also says disappointment. So this week, it's kind of not necessarily that you're going to get disappointed. You've already been disappointed. It's about feeling into the disappointment and letting yourself acknowledge it. Okay. Let yourself be disappointed. If it's appropriate, then that's the feeling you're having. Donnie, you got the Hanged Man upside down. This guy's starting to linger around. You brought yourself there. This card is saying to you, take a look at what you've spoken out loud. If you've said stuff that you didn't intend to create and now you've created it, maybe unsay it. Come back and work on your thoughts, work on your limiting beliefs, work on what you're saying to yourself. Okay. All right. Stephanie R. You got the Tower card. That means big changes, whether you like it or not. Okay. So this week is a nice big change week for you. Just embrace it. Sometimes we have to let the changes happen in order for the good stuff to be able to come in. Okay. All right. Janice, sister of Janelle. You got time and space. Okay. 3rd times we've seen this one, you guys. So this is for all of us. This card, I'm going to pull up the book, but this card is basically the card in the about judgment, the card about balance. Okay. So here is what it says. It says the law of karma, the law of laws, symbolized by time and space, means that with your telescopic vision, you are able to see the causes and effect of your mental and behavioral patterns. Seems to be the thing they keep saying, right? The sequence of the rock monuments, sun, moon, indicate your ability to see how your past determine your present and what your present will create for you in the future. Through your vision, alter the future and redirect your karma. Your sundial steering wheel illustrates your understanding of who you are and where you're going. All right. So basically, like, manage your minds, you guys. With these 2 cards coming together, this is like really own your magic, own how your mind drives your world. Okay. All right. Susan, Steve, and Phoebe. Susan, you got the Hierophant upside down. Okay. So this is like, sure, go ahead and be in yourself and taking care of yourself and inward, getting kind of self-reflective. That's great. And, it's when it's coming in reverse, it's kind of challenging. Like, only do that where it's good and balanced, and don't keep doing it if it's not good for you, if that makes sense. All right, Steve, you've got Woman of Wands for this week, and you've got Censor. So this is basically just saying, be really aware of how your nurturing energy, your embracing of all of it is really great as long as you are not hypervigilant. Okay, you want to be able to bring that hypervigilance into balance. So don't necessarily be a censor of yourself first and foremost. Okay, BB, you've got devil's play upside down. Okay, so basically this is just mischief. And it's just saying, that you're going to get in, that it's good to just play and do the silly things, but also to not do things just to cause mischief, not just to be in trouble, but to do things because it's fun. Lori, you've got the 7 of Cups, which says fear. Okay, so this is very much facing like what you haven't faced as far as your past and your future and all the things. I mean, given the other 2 cards we're getting all over and over, I think this week might be a week for you to actually sit down and document, what am I afraid of? And is it rational? And what's it linked to? One of the practices I really like to do is like, okay, so my worst fear comes true, then what? And then what? And then what? Until I get to the bottom of it, and it's really typically not typically not a very good thing to practice, to just stay in your fears, especially the irrational ones. All right. I agree with you, Susan. Baby got a devil's play card. It's pretty funny for a toddler. Look out. So this deck is the Voyager Tarot, by the way. It is by James Wanless. National Geographic. You have got the 3 of Crystals. It says creativity, but it's upside down. So it's just talking to you about that child's play mind that's coming up for all of us, about get back to the basics, have some fun. Don't have all the answers. Ask more questions than answers, okay? Hannah and Sierra. Hannah. Yeah, the deck, Susan, I agree. It's a pretty deck. Okay, Hannah, you got the 10 of Crystals, which is delusion. Okay, so don't kid yourself. Your mind sometimes can be looking at the facade. This week, ask lots of questions like we've been told. Make sure you're answering yourself clearly. And if you don't have clear answers, be sure to ask other people. All right, Sierra. Oh, you also got the same exact card. All right, so whatever this is, you guys, together, you might have to be very careful about your how your mind plays out a story and how other people might validate that story, and you might both be wrong. You might be in groupthink, okay? All right, exploring fish. You've got the Empress card. So this week for you, you're really just standing in it. You're just being who you need to be and owning your position. It's, still at the beginning of the hero's journey, so you don't have all the lessons learned yet, but that's okay. First, you get to give yourself an acknowledgement of like, I'm the one to love in my lifetime right now. Okay? Yeah. So Kelly, I'm just getting to your comment about tripling down. Yeah, time to play, childlike mind. All right, let's see. Brianna Clark, got you. All right, you have got the Preserver, which is the Woman of Worlds. Okay, so this is upside down, but it's talking about preservation. Okay, gestation, giving time to hold space for things to happen, not necessarily moving too fast, and also not destroying what you do not want to destroy. That is really important. All right, Janelle, you got a card already up at the top with Donnie, but I'll give you another one. It was disappointment. Your card was disappointment, and it was upside down. So it was basically saying, and it felt like it was past disappointments. But let me give you one more, and then I'll get one for my husband, and then we'll wrap it up today. Okay, 2 of Cups. Come back to your equilibrium with your significant other with regard to your energy of disappointment. Work it out, talk it out. Don't let it get stuffed. Okay. All right, you guys, here is for my husband. He's got change upside down, 8 of Worlds. It'll all change soon enough. It may not feel like it's changing fast enough right now. So just give yourself a chance to let things be stuck if they're stuck. Just wait, pause, be patient. All right, everybody, that's it for today. I will see you again next week. If you want to join me here, if you hit the subscribe and the bell button, you'll get noticed when I go live, which I plan to do on occasion at other times too. All right, go be amazing. Bye.